Now that is a vlog. Thank you. Guys, are you guys getting out to vote tomorrow?
Yep. Man, I wish.
Oh, come on. That's good enough. Wishing and being here is good enough. I have to catch up with this guy. Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh.
Well, maybe you should lead the way then. Yeah.
I got the way. I got the
How are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
And you deal with this on an everyday basis? No. I think this is actually a better use.
Okay, the park.
So we're heading. So you know where the park
That's
is
all right.
that we're going to? This may be an ill. You think so? Does anybody know where there's a park?
Okay.
Are you sure? Woman who's pointing. You have confidence?
Does anyone actually come from
Okay,
here?
follow the woman who's confident, who knows where we're going.
Follow confident woman.
How are you? Good.
I'm so excited to be in this. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hello, voice.
Hi.
Hello, disembodied voice.
I am a voice.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Wonderful.
I had that feeling. Where did he go?
I was like on this thing.
Wait, what you're saying is I gotta want to be near him, and that's the problem. I just don't. I never have. It's always been his initiative, if you know what I mean.
You're pretty cool. I'll take some.
When you take what you can get. Let's see. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Well, coming.
Oh, you guys too.
Screaming.
Asked to move out of the street. Move to your right.
That's a pretty good scene we got here. As usual, Misha is passing through Columbus undetected by humans. There doesn't seem to be anybody noticing that he's here, which is ideal because we just wanted to come in and get out. Misha, it's a shame about the response. Yeah, doesn't seem like. Doesn't seem like.
I live right down here.
Doesn't seem. Oh, you live right near here?
Yeah, I live right up this other street.
It's a good place to live.
What? Yeah,
Good
it's
place.
great. It's great. Are you aware of this?
Kind of consent.
Okay.
Where is it?
This is maybe. Somebody sort of was like, oh, it's right down there, and I was under the impression that this was a shorter walk.
Hey guys, we'll get in trouble.
All right, guys, I'm gonna move quickly.
So now what we have is Misha's trying to run away from the crowd. There's definitely a Forrest Gump-like element to this at this point.
I love your live stream. That's awesome.
And the organizers are not at all pleased. Look at this. There is a park.
I'm going to be tranquil. People in Columbus are insane.
Yeah, Columbus is kind of killer.
Yeah, Columbus is a little insane. Plus, you're on campus. Someone's gonna fall down these stairs.
Good scene, Columbus.
You going down?
Every time I come to Columbus, it's like this. It's just so nice. I pull over, on a trip, and the people just come out. It is. I don't know what I'm doing right, but
It's those shoes.
It's probably his shoes.
There's a rare instance in which skipping school might be actually an act of civic good. So, congratulations on that.
Definitely had 4 classes.
Yeah.
Why are there so many people? Okay.
Don't play to the crowd.
Hey, can I ask you a question? So, when at the end, I'd like to direct people to
HillaryClinton.com/GOTV.
GOTV.
Yes.
Okay, and are there places nearby where people can
Yes, we have an office over here.
This is actually boring when he talks like this, so I like to fill in a little bit when he gets boring, which will happen probably 3/4 of the time as he's talking. We'll just take little breaks from insipid boritude. Let's check in now.
Go vote tomorrow.
Okay. We're still waiting for people to fill in here.
Is that why it's boring?
So that's why it's boring. Also, the cinematography is a little bit.
You know, honestly, it's only as good as its subject matter. To be
You know what?
to be
It's
honest.
actually not fair. You know what? Let's stop quibbling like this.
You think right now is the time to stop quibbling? We stop quibbling? Yeah, fair enough.
Wait a minute. All right. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
There's still people coming.
We do have some questions coming in.
Okay, yeah, that's what
I'm-
I'm saying.
Wow, there's still people coming. All right.
It's okay because we have really good questions coming in over the live stream, like, hey.
I'm gonna.
And Misha, tell Darius to turn the camera. Just things,
Darius,
things that I ignore.
Turn the camera.
But why would they be telling me that?
So that they can see you.
Oh,
Are they seeing you?
Makes perfect sense.
Wait.
I'm glad you jumped to that conclusion.
Wow. Oh, I didn't think about the fact that there are people with double strollers trying to go down that staircase. All right, so that's officially the first dickhead move of the afternoon.
The only thing wrong with that is it's not even close to the first dickhead move, but it's another dickhead
You know
move.
what? You speak when you're spoken to.
Apparently not.
Here, I'll give you this back again.
You'll give it to me if I take it. And
Okay, while we're waiting for people to come down that long staircase with double strollers. Oh, there's another stroller. Wow. Double dickhead. And there's a baby in the stroller, and they're just wheeling it down the stairs. All right, so that probably does make it easier to hear me, doesn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
You tell them what we just read about Ohio. Let's see if we can turn this.
So, hello, Columbus, Ohio.
Misha, maybe
This-
we should switch places. So
You want to be shooting directly into the sun?
Just trying to get your face.
You're the smartest person I know, Darius.
Well,
Man, you know, you have such good fan base. I have to say. They're intuitive. They said Darvis. It's sideways again.
thank you. I am here in Columbus, Ohio, because this, as it turns out, may well be the epicenter of the universe. You guys potentially, because of the American Electoral College and the way our system works, you may be responsible for deciding who our next president is.
Probably.
There are several states that a lot is hanging on, and Ohio is one of them. And while we were in the car just now, we saw a little news feed that said that Ohio was leaning toward Donald Trump in this election in the latest polls. And that is something that can be turned around. The polls are not doctrine. They're predictors. And if people get sufficiently angry and sufficiently motivated, you have the power to turn that around. Don't forget that in Bush v. Gore, that election was decided by just a few votes nationally. It all came down to a few hundred votes in one state. And there's actually a second superfluous person in this framing.
It's funny how I crop in.
So
Oh, sorry.
please.
Sorry about the phone. Just every so often I talk to the people.
Oh, instead of the back of my head?
Yeah.
Well, all the people who came over here. Everyone is all around you.
This. Oh, the sun's hurting my eyes. Oh, this is really hard.
You know what? Should we just migrate everybody? So I'll face this way and you go over that way because it'll be better. Then you won't be staring into the sun. Okay, but no crushing each other. Okay. So those of you who had a front row seat just now you're just going to be staring at my ass. So I'm going to repeat. Are you pickpocketing me?
Wait again.
Actor with good intentions mugged at rally.
Ohio hospitality.
So, as I have mentioned before, I interned in Bill Clinton's administration, and in a slightly different capacity than Monica Lewinsky, but I interned. And
Notice it's slightly different.
I had firsthand exposure to what went on in the White House in that administration, and there was never a question in my mind that the Clintons were operating from an intention of serving the country in the best interests of the most people at heart. Really, it never crossed my mind that anything else was motivating them. And one other thing that I can tell you was that while I was in the White House, Hillary Clinton, as First Lady, had a reputation of being incredibly hardworking. She was always in the office. She was always working late. She was always incredibly driven. She has 30 years of public service under her belt. She has been a tireless civil servant. She has been working for this country in so many different capacities for so many years now. Some people say that, that's bad because she's now, a political insider and she's part of the political machine. But the truth is, the experience that she brings to the table is invaluable. She has gotten to know heads of state all around the world as Secretary of State. She has earned their respect. She has served as United States Senator and understands how our Congress works from the inside. She has also lived for 8 years in the White House, so she knows how the executive branch of our government works. She is bringing a tremendous amount of experience to the table, and a lot of people like the idea that, well, Donald Trump, he's going to come bring in fresh ideas. First of all, when you listen to Donald Trump talk about Donald Trump. When you listen to him talk about his ideas. Oh, goodness.
Oh. Hey, guy. Hey.
Oh no. I'm so glad everybody here showed up for our wedding.
She's literally gonna faint again. She's gonna faint again as soon as she picks her up. Like, hey, you're okay.
She okay, mate? She okay?
Yes, she's okay.
It
Awesome.
is hot. This isn't normal.
I like your belt buckle.
Thank you.
They were talking to me, I'm sure.
So she's okay. We have another. She got some water. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
If anybody else starts feeling woozy and needs some water or needs to sit down, let us know, because it's hot here, and I'm sorry, and we're not going to be here for long. So don't lock your knees.
Don't lock your knees. No.
Okay. All right. Well-meaning actor has dozens of people hospitalized.
I like the whole thing about the idea that she's different in her private life than in her public life. That's something that we're hearing a lot. Like, that's something people, who isn't different in their private life than in their public life, other than you, Misha?
It's funny that you should mention that, because while we were driving in the car, there were several times when we were talking, just as we do, as friends do, and privately, and then being like, oh fuck, is the live stream on? So it wasn't, I don't think. All right, so anyway, we do feel like we're on the precipice of something very important here. We could be either electing somebody who has the best interests of our country at heart, or we could be electing somebody who is megalomaniacal, who has no policy ideas, who's misogynistic, who's racist, who's built a platform on divisiveness.
Fearmonger.
He's a fearmonger, and he also does not have any policy concepts. You know, in the debates, it was so abundantly clear that given the opportunity to outline policy initiatives, he deflected because he hadn't gotten around to it because he was too busy mad tweeting at Saturday Night Live.
But say what you will about him, you have to admit, as a businessman, he has lost a lot of money.
Fair point. Yeah, we do want to have a balanced conversation here. So, this has galvanized me because I feel like it's transcending political lines. I understand and appreciate a lot of traditional Republican platforms. A lot of them, I think, make sense. What I see Donald Trump presenting is not that. He is not a Republican. He is a demagogue and frankly, a divisive racist and a dangerous man who I don't think belongs in our White House.
Anywhere near the White House.
So,
but how do you feel, Misha?
But I love his show, The Apprentice. Does anybody have any questions, comments, complaints, criticisms? Criticisms, yes.
I hate Trump, for one.
Okay.
That hurt.
2, I love your show.
Thank you.
I have it tattooed on my body.
I see that.
And 3, have you already voted?
I have voted. I voted early and I voted often.
You obviously voted for Trump.
Yes.
I was just wondering at what point you decided to go. What point pissed you off so much that you felt like you had to do this?
You know what? I think that Donald Trump started out kind of as a joke in my mind. When he started in the primary season, I thought, well, this is funny. It's amusing. It's a little disturbing that people are rallying behind him, but still, it's a footnote. And when he started to rise, to the fore, and then eventually come to a position where the polls are actually close, that became absolutely horrifying to me. And I actually thought about it because I don't necessarily feel like somebody who is on. Thank you for that eloquent criticism.
It's probably the one thing she's not doing.
I think that there came a point for me where I actually don't like it when celebrities get up on their soapbox just because I'm on a TV show, just because I work on the CW and have fans of my show doesn't really mean, as far as I'm concerned, that I should have a voice in the political process. But I also feel like at a certain point it becomes a moral imperative to use your voice if you can. If I actually have the power to turn 10 votes, then it is irresponsible for me not to use that at this point, because we are faced with a crisis that could wind us up at war. If we as a nation go to war because Donald Trump is insulted by a totalitarian foreign power and takes personal offense and decides to launch an offensive, like he said, for example, he said if an Iranian boat taunted U.S. military or U.S. Navy ships, that he would shoot them out of the water. Well, that is probably not so bright.
That's the end of the war.
That's an act of war, and when you shoot an Iranian boat out of the water, then you're going to war. So if somebody taunts you, if somebody flips you off and says something that offends you, and you shoot them out of the water and start a war, that sucks. And if I felt like, you know, a year from now we were at war and I hadn't said something, I would feel like shit. Yeah. Thank you for voicing that so eloquently.
You know, Misha called me at one point during this and said really legitimately, I actually can't sleep. And I think that it is a different election that way. We've never had this ever in my lifetime, in your lifetimes. It has never been so clearly a matter of ethics. It is simply not ethical.
Like first-time voters.
It's never happened. Yeah, first-time voters.
Can you tell people about the importance of voting up and down the ballot? I work at the Ohio House Democratic Caucus, so telling them that it's important to vote not only for Trump, or not only for...
This young woman works at the Ohio Democratic office, and she said, tell people it's not only important to vote for Trump. Not exactly towing the party line there, are you?
We appreciate the nonpartisanship, though.
But you know what I mean, like up and down, like your state person, your congressperson, your local, everything.
I think this is I do think that this election, there appears to be record turnout in early voting so far. It seems to be galvanizing people. It seems to be engaging people, and I think that's good. I think that as citizens, it is all of our responsibility to inform ourselves on all of the down ballot initiatives and elections that are happening there. So yes, don't just click off one box. Inform yourself and vote all the way down the ballot. It takes a little bit of time, but it's kind of like our civic responsibility, right? You know, we tout the wonders of living in a democracy, and then fucking people don't vote. Yeah. Like this is the principle upon which our country is founded, and frankly, it's dangerous because people can get rallied up, they can get motivated by fear and divisiveness. But if the rest of us don't vote, we are squandering our country and our future. So we all need to vote. And not only do we need to vote, but we need to get our friends to vote. We need to go volunteer to get people out on the street on tomorrow because people are complacent and people make up excuses not to vote. And people tell themselves that my vote doesn't count. Well, just looking back a couple of election cycles, you see how every single vote counted. The entire nation's election hinged on a few hundred votes in Florida. And that could happen in Ohio, it could happen again in Florida, it could happen in Pennsylvania, it could happen all over the country. Very important states could turn the whole election, so everybody needs to vote. Yes, sir.
I personally don't support either candidate, but I think there is a counter to your... but there's a counter to your...
Of course.
But telling someone it's their civic duty to vote is like telling someone who's not a gun supporter to go buy a gun because it's their right.
We were actually going to do that today.
I am a gun supporter. I don't have one yet, but I will.
So wait, you're saying to tell them that they have to vote is like telling them that they have to buy a gun?
Yeah.
Not on me.
No, you know what? Nobody. First of all, it is a democracy, so I can tell people whatever I want, but that doesn't mean they have to do it. We are all free citizens, and nobody is being compelled to vote, and nobody is being compelled to vote for a specific person. And we all have to respect one another's differences, one another's opinion. Absolutely, the right to abstain in an election is a fundamental right in a democracy as well. Your right to vote third party is a fundamental right in America. However, to abdicate, to say I'm not going to vote because I don't matter, is, I think, untrue. We all do matter. You know, it's not so to not vote because you think your voice doesn't count is your right. But I think that the numbers historically, recently, have borne that out to not be true. So if you care, and if you feel like one presidential candidate or one senatorial candidate is better than another, then fucking vote. And if you don't care, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But if you care, then make your voice count. And I think that a lot of times people act like they care, they say they care, and then they don't vote. And that, I think, is tragic.
But I'm also glad he's bringing that up because I think that...
Thank you for voicing any opposition.
Yeah,
in the crowd
I think
that
it's
is,
I think it's important because a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like that.
I also heard someone say if I don't vote, I can't complain, but I already know that either way we're fucked.
He's like, I already know I can complain. Like, I can complain. What's that?
He's not registered for writing.
I know. It doesn't matter either way.
Splitting the party?
All right, so anybody else have questions?
I do.
Yes.
Yes. This isn't political, but I'm supposed to be back at work right now. Can you give me an excuse?
How about save the world? I mean, that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes.
Yeah, you were trying to save the world. Yes. Yes, you.
Okay, I know that in the past, for sure, like the Democratic Party has had a lot of trouble getting a vote out. Just we know how many people are registered, and then not that many people come out and vote. Do you think that this election, given that we already have so many higher numbers coming in early voting, do you think that this is going to sort of be a turning point to hopefully change that pattern?
Well, I would certainly hope that that's changing. I do think that this election seems to have inspired some momentum toward civic engagement, which is great. Unfortunately, it's because there's somebody terrifying us, but I think that that's good, and hopefully that will bear out. However, getting out the vote is the most important thing that we can do. The votes that are represented in this group right here are significant, but if each person in this crowd can get 2 or 3 other people to get out and vote, it's exponentially more powerful. So
we're going to have to get on the road, just so you know. I've been indicated.
We have to leave.
Darius is the next
I want to leave you guys with a quick note here. Actually, is there a representative of the Clinton campaign that could stand up here? If you would like to help get out the vote tomorrow and make your voice, to amplify your voice, here's how you can do it.
Hi. Okay, so what y'all can do, you can come to our office. We have an office over on North High Street. Sign up for shifts. Go knock doors tomorrow. We know the best way to get people out to vote is to go talk to your neighbors, and then go out and vote tomorrow. Look up your polling location. You go to HillaryClinton.com.
And is there a clipboard where people can sign up right now to volunteer, or is that the clipboard?
I'm with an environmental group.
Okay, so that is a clipboard. It's a different clipboard, but it's a clipboard, which does make you look official. Are you going to walk over to the offices now?
I will show y'all where to go.
So if you actually want to follow this woman over to our offices,
that would be awesome.
You can actually go sign up right now to volunteer to get out the vote tomorrow. Let's mobilize.
We'll be on the open tomorrow giving out polling locations.
So people need rides to go vote. People need people to hold their hands to take them to polling stations. People need to be cuddled on their way to vote. So do whatever you have to do to make it happen. Thank you guys for being here and for being engaged. I love it. Bye. Thank you.
Misha 2020! Misha 2020! 2020! Misha
2020! I'm unfortunately not going to be able to take pictures and sign things for everybody, but I will. We do have to run because we have a couple other places to stop. But thank you guys.
What I like to do is just let the crowd leave
and then I leave. I have that ability to do that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will be back shortly.